Hi, I am Narendra Modigari. In this session, we are going to develop an application that interact with the database. So we are going to store the data into the database, as well as we are going to retrieve the data from the database. So let's create an app in App Lab. Go to Create, click App Lab, rename your project. Let's say interact with the DB. Rename your project. So what we are going to learn here is how to work with the database, how to create tables for our application, how to store the data into the database, and how to retrieve the data from the database. As well as we will learn how to hide element, how to show elements. We'll see all those things. First, let's go and create some tables for our application. Just go to the data section. So click this data. Let's create a table. Let's name this as accounts table, which stores information about the users, and click add button. A table is created, and here you can add number of columns to your table. Let's say my table contains 3 columns. One is username. Click the settings button, click rename. Username is one of my column. Add one more column for storing passwords. Password. Let's create one more column, and this column will keep track of at what time the account is created, and this third column will contain the time when the user is sign up. Let's say time created. So I created a table called accounts table. So I have 4 columns: ID column, username, password, time created. This ID will keep increasing for every record you inserted. Automatically this value will be assigned, and you have to get these 2 values from the user. And the time created, so we are going to use a predefined function to automatically store the timing information. So far we created a table called accounts, and we created 3 columns: username, password, and time created. So let's go back to our user interface. Just go to the code or design. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 inputs, one for username, another one for password. One for username and another for password. This is for getting username, and this is for getting password. Okay, so give an ID as a user and username. Give ID for this one as password. Whatever the text I am writing here, that will be displayed inside the. This is for getting username from the user, and this is for getting a password. And its ID is user, and its ID is pass. Okay, and we need 2 buttons, one for sign up and another for login. Okay, create 2 buttons, one for sign up, another for login. Give ID as sign up. Give text whatever you want here. It's a sign up, and give ID for this one as login, and text also login. So this button is for sign up. If user does not have account, he will enter his details so that account will be created for him. This is for login. If the user is having account, he can log in it. That's it. When the user clicks sign up button, these 2 details is supposed to store inside the database. Okay, so we have to add an event handler for sign up. Click sign up and go to events. Click this event handler. Okay, this is to write the data to the log. If you don't want this, you can drop this and drag here. So this is the way how you can remove elements from your workspace. If you don't want this, just drag this and throw back to the toolbox. It will be removed. So when user clicks sign up button, so what it has to do? That code you are supposed to write here. Okay, so when user clicks sign up button, what it has to do is the data should be stored inside the database. The data should be stored inside the database. Go to the data menu, drag and drop, create record. Okay, when user clicks sign up button, and we are trying to store the data inside database. And here you have to give the table name. So our table name is accounts, and here you have to, and here you are supposed to provide column names and the value you are supposed to store in that respective columns. So this is the table name, and here you have to mention the set of columns along with their values. So we have 3 columns in our table: username, password, and time created. The username value, this value should be the value entered by the user. Okay, so this value, the username is nothing but the value that is entered by the user. Okay, so get the username from the user interface. Go to UI control, get text, and here you have to choose the ID from where you are trying to get the data. Okay, and the ID of this username is user. Just choose it, user. Okay, it will get username from this user interface, and that will be stored in the table. So this for username. In the same way you have to get it for the password. So it is not fit enough. So what you can do is convert it as a show text, and just copy this, comma. We need one more block for password, one more block for time created. We need 3. So one is for username, another one is for password, another one is for time created. Get back to show blocks. So this is for username. Okay, so what it will do is it will get username from the user interface, and the second one is for password. This is for password. This password is nothing but the password entered by the user, whose identifier is pass. Okay, and third column is time created. The third column is time created. This value we are not going to get it from anywhere. We are letting this code.org to get value by itself. Okay, for that one we'll make use of a function called date function. There is a function called date function in AppLab. So this date function in AppLab will give us time and date when the user is signed up. So these are 3 values. Okay, so this is how you can insert the data into the database. Okay, it's very simple. If you want to insert data into the table, just make use of create record. Drag and drop here, and the first one should be the name of the table where you are inserting the data, and you have to write this for each column. So I have 3 columns. The first column is username, password, and followed by time created. The username you have to retrieve from the user interface, from the component whose ID is user, and the password you have to retrieve from the user interface, from the component whose ID is pass. And the time created you need not to give yourself. You can ask the AppLab to write its own. Okay, there is a function called date function. This date function will automatically give us date and time which this user signed up. That's it. The record will be inserted, and once the record is inserted, you can show a message saying that successfully signed up. Once the record is inserted, you can show user that data is stored successfully or successfully signed up. So for that one, so we have to display a message. So for that one, I am going to create one more label. So this I am placing here. So this label I am going to use for displaying whether user signed up successfully or not. Okay, this label. So initially I am hiding it. I am not giving any data here. Okay, and its label is label 1. Initially I would like to hide it. Okay, so you can hide it. There is an option to hide it. It will be hide. Let's run this. So it is hidden. Okay, it is hidden. If the data is inserted successfully, you have to display a message in this label. Okay, just go back to code. If the data is inserted successfully in the database, you have to display a message at this label. Okay, so set text, and choose the ID of the label, which is label 1, and here you can write whatever the text you would like to. Sign up successfully. Sign up successfully. Okay, so as it is already hidden, so before showing any message you have to unhide it. So to unhide any hidden elements, you can make use of an element called as show element. Okay, you can find it here, show element. Okay, this show element is for showing any element which is already hidden. First show it, first show the label 1 and then set the text. Let's see if we can able to do this successfully or not. Let's run this. Give username, let's say student1 is username and password is hi code. So this is my username and this is my password. If I click sign up button, what happens? If I click sign up button, a record will be inserted in the table and the label will become visible and a message will be displayed, sign up successfully at the label. So before verifying this, just increase the size of label where you are going to display this message. Let's go to the design mode. Just increase the size of this label, otherwise all the data will not be displayed here. Just increase the size of the label. Otherwise, whatever the data you are displaying, it is not fit enough. Just increase the size here, just leave it. Now check it. Just run this. Give username. Let's say student1 and password highcode.org. So let's try to insert this. Give sign up button. So once I click sign up button, the data will be inserted into the database and the message has to be displayed here. See, sign up successfully is displayed here. Let's see whether the data is inserted in the table or not. Go to the data section, choose your table, and here you can see here the data which you inserted is successfully inserted. Username is student, password is highcode.org, and this is exact the time when you sign up, and this ID will be incremented automatically. Okay, but if you observe here, this message is there permanently. We don't want to see this message permanently. We want this data to be hidden after around 10 seconds or 1 second or 2 seconds, like that. So for that, what you can do is after a fixed amount of time you can make this as hidden again. After some amount of time you can make it as hidden again. So for that one you can make use of something called as set timeout. So by using set timeout, you can, what you can do is after a fixed amount of time you can make it as invisible again. Just keep it here, and here what you can do is you can hide this element again after a fixed amount of time. To hide an element, okay, you can go back to, you can choose a hide element, drop here, and here you have to choose the element which you are going to hide. So here I would like to hide label 1, that's it. So what happens is after creating a record, the label 1 will be shown and a message will be displayed there. After 1000 milliseconds it will be disappeared. Let's insert one more data. Let's say student2 and the password hellocode.org. Let's insert this. So before this, run once again. Run this. Student2 hellocode.org is my password, and try to insert it. Okay, the data is inserted and this label message is displayed and disappear immediately. So if you want, you can change the time. If you want, you can make it as some 3000. Okay, let's make it as a 5000 and run it once again. Let's insert one more student details. Let's insert one more data. Student3 and password is hi hello. Let's insert this. Click sign up button. So the data will be inserted into the table and you will be shown successfully inserted message here for 5 seconds. See here, this message will be appeared for 5 seconds. Okay, to disappear. Let's go and check the database. Click the data section. So here you can find all the details. And this ID will be increased automatically for every insertion. If you want, you can manually delete here, or you can delete from the program. So that's it. This is about the sign up. We're done with the sign up. Then let's write code for the login. Okay. So if I click login button, what it has to do is it has to check this username and password with the database. If this user exists in the database and if the password is correct, it is supposed to log in. Okay. So let's write code for login. Create one more event. Okay. Create one more event. This time I am going to create event for login button whose ID is login. Login. So this is the code for sign up button, and this now I am going to write code for login button. Okay. So once I logged in, so it has to read data from these two and it has to compare the data with the existing data in the table. So first what you have to do is get all the data from the table. So get all the data from the table. To get all the data from the table, go to the data section, read records. Okay, read records and place it here. Read records and place it here. Okay, so here you need to specify the table name from where you would like to get the data. So my table name is accounts. So what this code will do is it will read data from the table called as accounts. Okay, so this is for writing data into the console. We don't want this, just throw it here. After getting the data from the table, for every record in the table, what you have to do is you have to compare with the data that you are getting from the user interface. Okay, so you have to perform comparison. So for every record, so this is a for loop. So for every record, you have to compare the data with the username and password. If there is any match, then that means it is a successful login. For comparison, just go to control. Okay, drag and drop if statement, if element. Okay, here you are going to compare two things. One is the username and password. So we are going to compare two things and we need two comparisons. Go to math and choose this one and. Okay, so this is a Boolean operator. Okay, it returns true if both conditions are satisfied. Just drag and drop here. Here, so this is for comparing username and this is for comparing password. So we are going to compare username. Okay, whether they are same or not, we need equal operator here. This is for comparing username and we need one more comparison for password. Okay, so this is for comparing username and this is for comparing password. Get this username, user, and compare with the data from the table. Okay, the data from the table is there in an array called as a record array, a list called record list. Compare with this records of I dot username. So what you are doing is, so this is the username entered by the user in the UI console, UI screen, user interface screen. This is the username that you are getting from the database. So you are comparing the username entered by the user with the username inside the table for every record. In the same way, you have to do it for the password also. Okay, get the password from the user console, get the password from the screen, get the password from the screen, compare the password from the screen with the password from the table. So records dot, so records is a list which contains all the records, dot password. That's it. Okay, this is a logical AND operator. It becomes true if both conditions are true. That means if username matches as well as password also matches, then you have to move to another screen. Okay, then that means it is successful login, and you have to move from login to your actual application screen. Okay, so if both username and password are matching, it is a valid user, and let's move to the next screen. So for that one, I need one more screen. Let's create a new screen and display some message here. Successful login. Successful login. That's it. So if username and password both are valid, if it is a valid user, which means the username and password both are matching with the database, you have to move to the another screen okay. You have to move from another screen. To move from one screen to another screen, there is an element called as set screen, and you have to choose the screen to which you would like to move. Second screen. So what I'm doing here is, so once I click the login button, I'm comparing the username and password with the database values. If the username and password both are matched, then I am moving to the second screen. Okay, let's check it. Before that, let's check one valid user. One valid user is student3 hi hello is the password. Let's check this. Run this application, and student3 hi hello. If it is a valid user, it has to move from one screen to another screen. Okay, it has to move from current screen to screen 2. Let's check it. Successful login, so it is moved to another screen. And you have to write code for unsuccessful login also. So for that one, so what I am going to do is, if it is not matching with any record in the table, so what I am going to do is, I am going to be there in the same screen. Okay, I am going to be in the same screen without moving to the second screen. Okay, so for that one, you need to change a little bit. You need to change the code a little bit. Let's make use of a variable x. Let's make use of a variable and make this variable as I, and here I don't want to declare here. Just give I value as 0. Choose assignment statement. Set I as 0. Okay, so what I am doing is, the I value starts with 0. It goes through all the records in the database. If you have a successful match, break this. By using a statement called as break statement, and you need not to search. You can stop there itself. Okay, if there is a successful match, you can stop searching and you can move to the next screen. See here, if there is a successful match, assume that your database is having 1000 records. If there is a match in between, you need not to search the entire table. You can stop searching once there is a match. If there is no match, it will go through all the tables, and the I value will start from 0 and it goes all the way to the length of the table. That means if I value is equal to records.length, write a condition. This is for invalid login. Okay, this is for invalid login. If there is any match in between the search, the I value will not be records.length. Okay. If you gone through all the records and there is no match, if there is no match in the table and the I value will go through all the records, the I value becomes length of your table. So if I value becomes length of your table, that means this username is not able to find it. Okay, this I value starts with 0 and it will keep searching all the table. If there is a match in between, the searching process will be stopped and it will come out of the loop. If there is no match, the searching process will not stop until the table is finished. Then I value will be equal to the number of records in the table. So if I value is equal to number of records in the table, it means it is an invalid user. So display a message that it is an invalid user. Okay, display a message, set text of label as invalid user. Invalid user. So what is happening is, so once a user clicked login button, the given username and password will search with every record in the table. If there is a match, the searching process will stop and it will move from this login screen to the next screen. If there is no match, then we are going to display a message called as invalid user, and we will remain the same screen. Let's check it. Let's run this. Let's give some invalid username. Let's say hi and hello. This record is not there in the table. Let's check it. Let's check it. Okay, actually it is not appearing here because I forgot to enable the label. So first I have to enable the label. I have to show the label. Okay, show the label first. Show a label first. Show the label first. And display the message. Run it again. So this is the record is not there in the table. So the record is not there in the table. It is showing an invalid user. Again, this invalid user is not disappearing. It is there for a long time. So what you can do is you can give a time period. After a certain time period, you have to make it as invisible. So again, you need a set timeout. Go to control, click set timeout. Okay. First show the label and show the message after 4000 milliseconds. That means after 4 seconds, the element has to be hidden. Okay, the label has to be hidden. Okay, it should be hidden. Hide element and choose the label which you would like to hide it. That's it. Okay. So if it is not a valid user, and you have to display invalid message here. You have to display invalid user message here. So before displaying it, make it as visible and then display the message. After 4 seconds, again hide it. Run it once again. It's invalid user. So after 4 seconds, it will be disappeared. That's it. Okay. Let's check for the valid user. Let's go back to the database and check any valid user. Let's choose any one of these. Let's choose this one. Username is student3 and password is hi hello. Let's try with this one. Username is student3 and password is hi hello. So this is the valid username and password. Let's try to log in this. Successfully login. As username and password is matching with the database, successfully login. But one more thing is here after successful login, if you want to go back, there is no buttons to go back here. So what you can do is you can add one more button here so that if you want, you can go back here. Go to the design mode again. The second screen, add one button or add one image. If you click that button or image, you have to go back to the previous screen. So I'll choose image. Okay, and the source of this image can be chosen. Just click this choose button. If you want to give URL of your image, you can give here, or if you want to load from your computer, you can load from your computer here, like this. Or if you want to choose set of icons which are already available, you can choose here. So I want an icon for back button. Choose any one of this. So this is the icon for back button. If you want, you can resize this. Resize this. Once a user click this back button, it has to go back to the screen 1. So I need to add event handler for this button also. Let's write event handler for this button. Choose this button. Choose this image. Add event handler. add event handler. We don't want this one, just throw it away. And here, so once I click this button, whose ID is image1. So once I click this button, it has to go back to screen 1. Okay, so go back to screen 1, choose set screen, and drag and drop here, choose screen 1. Okay, so once I click this back button, whose ID is image1, it has to go back to the first screen. That's it. Let's run this again. Let's give a valid user ID, student 3, password is hi, hello. As it is a valid username, once I click login button, it goes to next screen. And if I want to go back to the previous screen, I can click the back button. You can come back here. Okay. After successful login, we are moving from one screen to another screen. Then if you want, you can go back here. Okay. If you want to sign up, and this button is for sign up, and this button is for login. Okay. So that's it from this tutorial. That's it from this video. We'll learn how to create more screens. We'll learn how to move from one screen to another screen, how to create tables, how to insert the data into the table, how to compare our data with the data already exists in the table. Thank you for your presence. Have a nice day.